Hello and welcome to this video on the $10 billion investment in the China-Egypt Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone. In this video, we will discuss what the investment entails, its significance and impact on the economy, and the potential benefits and challenges it poses for China and Egypt. In September 2016, China and Egypt signed an agreement to establish the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone, which is aimed at boosting economic cooperation and trade between the two nations. This zone is located in the Suez Canal Economic Zone, which is an industrial park developed by the Egyptian government to attract foreign investment. Recently, it was announced that China will be investing $10 billion in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone, making it one of the largest investments in Egypt's history. The investment will be used to develop infrastructure, including ports, highways, and power plants, and to build factories for manufacturing goods such as electronics, textiles, and machinery. This investment is significant as it highlights China's interest in developing trade and investment ties with Egypt, which is strategically located at the crossroads of Asia, Africa, and Europe. The investment is expected to create jobs, boost economic growth, and increase trade between the two nations. Furthermore, it is anticipated that this investment will help Egypt reduce its reliance on imports and improve its trade balance. For China, this investment presents an opportunity to expand its Belt and Road Initiative, which is aimed at developing infrastructure and trade links across Asia, Africa, and Europe. Additionally, the investment may help China to gain a foothold in the Middle East, which is a key region for oil and gas supplies. However, there are also potential challenges that China may face, including political instability in the region, security concerns, and competition from other countries. The investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone is expected to bring a range of benefits to Egypt. It is anticipated that the investment will create up to 400,000 jobs, which is a significant boost to the country's economy. Additionally, the investment is expected to increase the competitiveness of Egypt's exports by improving infrastructure, reducing transportation costs, and increasing the quality of goods produced. This will help Egypt to diversify its economy and reduce its reliance on oil exports. Despite the potential benefits, there are also potential challenges that Egypt may face. The investment may lead to an increase in imports of Chinese goods, which could negatively impact local industries and manufacturers. Additionally, there may be concerns over the environmental impact of the investment, particularly with regards to the development of new factories and power plants. For China, the investment presents an opportunity to expand its presence in the Middle East and strengthen its trade and investment ties with the region. Additionally, the investment may help to increase China's access to key resources such as oil and gas, which are essential for China's growing economy. Furthermore, the investment is expected to create opportunities for Chinese companies to invest in the development and operation of the infrastructure in the zone. China may face potential challenges in the development of the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone. The region is prone to political instability and security concerns, which may pose a risk to the investment. Additionally, there may be competition from other countries such as the United States and Russia, which are also interested in increasing their influence in the Middle East. The Suez Canal is a critical trade route that connects Europe, Asia, and Africa. The development of the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone could have a significant impact on the canal's operations. The investment in infrastructure and manufacturing facilities could lead to an increase in trade, which would benefit the canal by increasing the volume of ships passing through it. However, there may also be concerns over the impact of increased industrial activity on the environment and the safety of ships passing through the canal. The investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone represents a significant collaboration between China and Egypt. The two nations have a long history of cooperation, and the investment is expected to deepen their economic ties. Additionally, the investment may lead to the transfer of technology and knowledge between the two nations, which could benefit both economies in the long term. The investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone has been met with mixed reactions from the international community. Some have praised the investment as a positive development that could help to stimulate economic growth and create jobs in Egypt. However, others have expressed concerns over the potential environmental impact of the investment and the potential for the investment to further entrench China's economic influence in the region. The development of the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone has raised concerns over the potential environmental impact. The construction of new infrastructure and factories could lead to increased pollution and the degradation of natural habitats. Additionally, there may be concerns over the impact on the Red Sea, which is located near the zone. The Egyptian government has stated that it will take measures to minimize the environmental impact of the development, including the use of clean energy and the establishment of environmental protection measures. The investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone has geopolitical implications that extend beyond China and Egypt. The investment represents a significant expansion of China's Belt and Road Initiative, which is aimed at developing trade and infrastructure links across Asia, Europe, and Africa. The expansion of China's economic influence in the Middle East could have implications for the balance of power in the region and could lead to increased competition with other nations such as the United States and Russia. The $10 billion investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone is just the first phase of a larger development plan for the zone. Additionally, the development of the zone may attract investments from other countries, leading to increased economic activity in the region. The investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone could have a significant social impact on the local communities. The development is expected to create jobs, which could improve the standard of living for many Egyptians. Additionally, the investment may lead to the development of social infrastructure, such as schools and hospitals, which could benefit the local communities. However, there may also be concerns over the displacement of local communities and the impact on their traditional way of life. The investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone raises concerns over the protection of intellectual property. The development of new factories and the transfer of technology between China and Egypt may lead to the unauthorized use of intellectual property or the theft of trade secrets. Both China and Egypt have committed to protecting intellectual property, and it will be important to ensure that these commitments are upheld throughout the development of the zone. The investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone has the potential to impact global trade. The development of new infrastructure and manufacturing facilities could lead to increased trade between China, Egypt, and other countries in the region. Additionally, the investment may lead to the development of new supply chains and trade routes, which could alter the patterns of global trade. The development of the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone has raised concerns over the potential for violations of workers' rights. There may be concerns over the treatment of workers, including their working conditions and wages. Additionally, there may be concerns over the use of migrant workers, who may be vulnerable to exploitation. It will be important to ensure that workers' rights are protected throughout the development of the zone. The development of the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone may have a significant impact on local industries in Egypt. The investment may lead to increased competition for local manufacturers and producers, who may struggle to compete with the lower costs of production in the zone. Additionally, there may be concerns over the impact on small and medium-sized enterprises, which may be less able to compete with larger, multinational corporations. The success of the investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone will depend on the establishment of strong regulatory frameworks that protect the interests of all stakeholders. It will be important to ensure that regulations are in place to protect the environment, workers' rights, intellectual property, and local industries. Additionally, it will be important to ensure that there is transparency and accountability throughout the development of the zone. The development of the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone may have a significant impact on regional integration in the Middle East and North Africa. The investment could lead to the development of new trade routes and supply chains, which could facilitate increased trade between countries in the region. Additionally, the investment could lead to the establishment of new partnerships and collaborations between countries in the region, which could strengthen economic ties and promote regional integration. The success of the investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone may depend on the involvement of international organizations. International organizations such as the United Nations and the World Trade Organization may play a role in facilitating cooperation between China and Egypt, as well as in ensuring that the development of the zone is consistent with international standards and best practices. The investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone may have implications for China's image and reputation. The investment is part of China's Belt and Road Initiative, which has been criticized by some for promoting debt trap diplomacy and undermining environmental standards. The success of the investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone may depend on China's ability to address these concerns and ensure that the development of the zone is consistent with international standards and best practices. In conclusion, the $10 billion investment in the Suez Economic and Trade Cooperation Zone is a complex development that has potential economic, social, environmental, geopolitical, intellectual property, regulatory, and international implications. While there are potential benefits and challenges to the investment, it presents an opportunity for both nations to deepen their economic cooperation and create new opportunities for growth and development. The success of the investment will depend on the ability of both nations to navigate the challenges and seize the opportunities presented by the investment, while ensuring that the interests of all stakeholders are protected. Thank you for watching this video.